Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we're working on our inn here so that we can heal our health. So we've got these bounding boxes for the beds, which are working fine. It allows us to kind of tuck ourselves in and not walk too far off, right? So that's good. That's a good start. We need to add the dialogue box option to rest in there and pay 5 coins to rest in the bed and heal our hearts. So what we've got is we have a dialogue box off to the left here, and we can interact with it. We can say rest, yes or no. But right now, no is saying come back with money, or yes is saying you took a nap. It doesn't actually deduct your money, doesn't actually give you health. But that's the sort of the sort of idea. So like the issue is we aren't refreshing the dialogue box to be back to rest, right? Because what we're doing is overriding the text field within the dialogue box object once we pick an option. So the dialogue box, what up, Salto? The dialogue box has a string, and the string is the resulting text that appears here. Prints one character at a time. Then when we hit this, we're what's called re-initting is a method we have. We're re-initting the dialogue box to be a new string. So I guess if we really wanted to do it, like the other issue, we're not closing the dialogue box. All we're doing is re-initting. So it's like we need to effectively close the dialogue box while we re-init with the default value, which is rest, and then we need to give the custom logic of, okay, we need to heal our hearts, we need to deduct our coin, and we don't give custom options for re-initting the text based on yes or no. We give it based on the result. We're like, do you have enough coins? And if so, it says you took a nap. If you don't have enough coins, it'll say it costs you 5 coins. So it won't, so it's like there's a couple of little things we're trying to hammer out here. So I guess the first thing is like, let's see if we can re-init, right? We got this re-init. We can do this re-init to come back to rest if we close a dialogue box option that is our dialogue box has a couple of options. We have a meditation option, or we have a rest option, or a standard dialogue box. So if we close the page and it is a rest option, we need to re-init with rest. So right now we have this where we're saying, okay, well, we're only checking our page to basically reset. Now there's a whole lot of shit going down right here, right? Where if we hit the action button and we're on the last page, right? If our current page is equal to the length of pages we've got, that means we're on the last page, so we become finished printing. We turn off our active dialogue box, we reset the button count, we do a bunch of random crap, we become unpause, we nullify our active dialogue ID from our scene view, we flush our text, we reset our current page, we do custom stuff for meditate option, custom stuff for rest option. But this rest option stuff, we're trying to do this where we say, okay, well, let's change to meditate. So he closes his eyes, let's reset his vibrancy, might as well charge his vibrancy. This is where we would probably also just reset his health to max health or whatever. But this if rest option can never happen, because in this parent conditional we're saying and not rest option. So this can only happen if we're not a rest option. So if we take out this not self rest option, then what happens is, since our default rest string is only 1 page of dialogue, the instant we go to advance it, it knows it's on the last page. Therefore, let's close the dialogue box, and it doesn't re-init the result string. So there's it's fucking weird. It's weird. We can't just do this. We can't just take it out of here like we could do some nasty and just like duplicate what's inside this conditional, but only do it if it's a rest option, and then when it's a rest option and it's on the last page, well, that still doesn't fix our problem, because once our init hits, yeah, it's a real big problem, because if you think about it as like, oh, we'll just, how do we know we're on the last page? We would know we're on the last page if we have re-initted an option there. But if we re-init something, we reset a value on the dialog box. But then if we re-init it, does it reset that value? I think we're running into some problem here where we need to kind of decouple. We need to decouple a value from the re-init option. So it's like, I think what we need to do is maybe, I think we might get rid of this. I don't know. I was stuck on this yesterday. I'm stuck on it today. I guess the real thing is we need to not close the dialog box by the time we hit the action button on a rest option, because it needs to print some feedback. We could just have it close and just do the thing, but then people can't see, oh, I need more coin. It didn't do a rest even though I hit yes, but since I didn't have coin, it just closed and it didn't give me the rest. I don't want that to happen. I want there to be clear feedback, like, hey, you did nap. Hey, you did heal. Or, hey, you need 5 coins in order to ride this ride. So I do want that. So I guess what we could do, I know we tried to do something like this yesterday where we said, like, there's a rest A button count that counts how many times A is pressed while in rest, and if rest has only been pressed once since we've been updating this dialog box, then we would go and say, okay, well, if action button is pressed and we've already pressed rest once, that means we're on the second page. That means we can close the thing because we already re-initted. Then we would need to reset the rest A button count without doing it in the re-init. Dude, it's fucking weird. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, at the bottom, at the end of the day, we do need to close. We need to close this. We need to close the page and reset the values and stuff. Yo, what up, Matt? Matt Bird, how's it going? A little late for me programming, but we're here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on what I just pitched. So I don't know the move. It's hard because we're that's weird, Matt. Like, I don't, yeah, that's very strange. I have noticed sometimes people's characters are even online before I even go live, so maybe he was just lurking. I don't know. I guess part of me is thinking, like, we could break out this rest dialog box to be not part of the main dialog box class. But also it'd be nice too, because then we don't have to recode all the printing characters one line at a time, one character at a time. Yo, thanks, Matt Bird. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the issue is we want to give feedback to the player before it closes the dialog box, and we don't know what the dialog box next page is. So maybe what we can do is maybe we can fill a dummy page on the rest map declaration so that it says rest and then it has a dummy page of empty values. That way when we hit either yes or no, it doesn't automatically close the dialog box because there was another page. But then by the time we advance the page, then we reinit to be whatever string. And we count, that there has been a press from the rest option. Because then we would need to be able to trigger, hey, we've already pressed in the rest option, so whatever the next press is, we need to close the dialog box now. But that would give us the ability to advance a page as well as close a page, as well as... Yeah, that might be it. It's not very pretty, but not a lot of my game is pretty code-wise. Okay, so let's maybe test it. So I think what I want to do is let's just take out this and not rest option, and what we'll do is just see what's different, right? Because I think what's different is it'll just close on rest no matter what we pick, right? Whatever we pick, actually. That's not what I thought it would do. Current page is page length. It just never exits. I thought it would exit. I thought it would exit us. So that's not great. Because this is all in an action press, right? If it's an action press, we do flush. Oh, we flush our text before. This is so weird. Because the reinit would make only one page of dialogue. And only one page of dialogue would mean that our current page is equal to our page length. That way, we would become finished printing, and we would also become unpaused, which is not actually happening. Let me see if I take off this rest option, reinit. If the dialog box just closes, if the dialog box doesn't close at this point, I need to rethink some stuff. Okay, so it does close, and we get the rest, right? Hey, Squinch, what's up? Yeah, late stream for me, so I'm probably a little out of it, but okay. So, at this point, it's working on paper with resting, but all it's doing is changing our state. It is not printing any character feedback or player, feedback for our character. So something in the reinit is preventing our current page being equal to page length, therefore breaking out of our paused state in our dialog box. So either we're hitting space before our current page printed character count is greater than our total page character count, or our reinit is defaulting our current page to something else. I don't know. If we turn this back on, I'm just gonna try to do it and just wait until all the invisible characters would be printed out. It's if we just give it a second, then we hit yes, then we hit no. Okay, so it's still, we don't have a way to exit. We don't have a way to exit by advancing the text, which is an issue. So we do up our A button count, but we're upping our A button count right here. So I feel like that is just unnecessary. But I really don't know. Okay. Yeah, doesn't look, it's still not right. And we're still not resetting the default dialog box. Okay, so when we hit space, we're re-initting, and then re-init does basically the whole init again, but from the default values, right? So this re-init is in our dialog box. Yeah, it's redoing all this stuff, which has a current page. It should have a page length. Huh. Oh yeah, page length. Okay. So yeah, I mean, our current page should be equal to our page length at this point. We could print this up and just make sure. So this would be the second dialog box in the scene that is in our in, which is 211. So let's go into our play state. We'll go print this up, and it'll be I want to say it's 211. I think that might be wrong though. We're going to go into the dialog box table, and we're going to go into the index of 2, and we're going to print up the page we're on, page length, and the page we're on. So let's just try this. Is it dialog 211? In is 211. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so look, it knows we're on page 1. It's printing a page we're on, or page length of 1. So I guess it just comes down to the page we're on. Is that right? Page. Let's see, because it's when we go to do current page. Yeah, current page. I think it is. No. In the dialog box object, we check if the current page is equal to the page length. So let's try current page. Current. All right, yeah, we're on the current page, and page is equal to 1. So we're just not breaking out. We're just not breaking out of that. It might be because we do this before we close the page. So maybe we just try to close the page first. And if not, is that right? Where do we put this? We have an if and then an if. So it needs to be in 2 ends right there. Okay, so we just moved around. Okay. So that does close. That just deletes our dialog box though. Or it doesn't reset. Doesn't reset its page for whatever reason. So that's an issue. Yeah, it just stops us from being able to activate it again. And I don't know why. Oh. Okay. So that does it. Okay. So we have, okay, so we're not resetting, but at least we are closing our dialog box by the time we select something. And we're populating it with a special reinit value, but it's still not there because we need to reinit not upon a because it's like we're already closed. Okay, so at this point let's add that dummy page, right? So we'll say map, it is map declarations, and we'll say when we go and insert the in dialog box, which I don't even see it. It's called rest right there. Yeah, when we go and add this, I'm going to add a space, because that's how we add a blank page. So now hitting it does advance it, and it doesn't, it still doesn't. It doesn't hit because it doesn't close because of the reinit. So before the reinit, I think we need to do this thing where I think this is where we add this rest button count, because we need to make sure we don't close the dialog box until we've pressed once to advance the page, because it's like pressing once on either yes or no will tell you something, and we don't want the dialog box to close, but we need it to close the next time you press, like for sure. And like we normally do this based on the page of dialogue that we're currently at, but the reinit is throwing that for a loop for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess we can try this now, where we say, well, if we pressed a button or a rest button count, it's silly. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but we just need to close this page. If we've pressed this more than once, for sure, we just need to say, you know what, don't reinit if our button count is whatever. Because if we were to turn this off, I think we end our dialog box at the first, maybe the second page of dialogue here. Well, we have to comment this out. Let's try this. Okay, see, that's what we want. We want the 2 pages and then close. So that's good. And then our rest stays, which is good, but we aren't reinitting yet, so that's part of the issue. But this is closer. So if we were to take this out or put this in, we want the reinit to put the resulting option as a feedback to the player, but we also need to just not do that if our rest button count is greater than whatever. So if our rest button count is greater than 1, meaning we've hit advance once or more in the dialog box option for a rest. Come on, man. You can't do it. You can't. Okay, we need an if here, is what it is. Okay, that should be it. Okay. So, if we have hit this more than once, then go ahead and reinit. It's not that we want to reinit here, it's that we want to... I think we only want to do this if it is smaller than 1. Because that means it's on the first advance. It's going from rest to the result string, and then we need to reinit. Then the next time we press will be greater than 1. Then it'll ask this, and it won't do the reinit. Then I'm hoping it just exits. I think that's probably what it would do. Fuck. Rest button count. We need to initialize this, so we'll do it as 0 here at the top. Okay. We also need to reset it upon closing and not have it in the reinit. But let's see. Okay. Okay. Now we didn't get... Oh, there we go. Oh, fuck. Then we get the new one. God damn it. Okay, so we're close. It's just that advancing didn't kill... It didn't kill the page. It didn't kill the empty second page, right? From our rest. So if we look at this rest... If we take this second page out, I think it's still, you know, it would still break. It just would never close. It would just never close. Oh, it does close. What the fuck? Okay. Let's see that again. We hit space once and then it just does the thing. So it's almost like we need to kind of flush it. Damn it, dude. Okay. Well, action is pressed. We're in a rest option. We're going to count the rest buttons. We're going to reinit this if our rest button is greater than 1. So if we've... Yeah, because the issue is we need to reinit right away. Yeah, we need to reinit right away, but we need to close... Let's swap this around. Let's do smaller than 1, and let's see if that fixes. Okay, it doesn't give us... If it's smaller than 1, which... Smaller than or equal to 1... Shit, I don't know. Literally just guessing, like... Okay, so... It's still not right. It closes right away. Give us that second page. I think we might have to change our reinit to also just flush the current page that's in there. Oh, that's close. That's close because it pulled a page. It didn't go to the empty page. So look, it pulls rest. If we hit yes, it gave us the result string. Let's try it for no, because yeah, we don't want that empty page. We just want to reinit it. I did the same thing. We need to check the no. Hit no. Yeah, it gives us the result string. That's good. And then hitting it once more just reinits, but hitting it once more then finally closes it. So that's close. So it's not that it's greater than... Uh-oh. Not that it's reinitting only if it's smaller than 1. That... I don't know. Ah, see, empty page. Okay, well, now it does. We could add a separate page cleanse to just the rest button count, but I would prefer not to. Like, that's really close. It doesn't... Why is it that it closes if it's smaller than or equal to 1? Rest button count is not getting changed. Let's print up this rest button count and just see what's going on, because maybe that'll help us. I mean, we're close. We're close. I can smell it. Okay, so yeah, rest button count is 1, 2, then it closes. We don't reset it, but it closes at 2. So once this is, yeah, once this condition is false, we just don't reinit. So how come we can't say this if it's been pressed once, we're gonna reinit? I don't know. So it doesn't get pressed till we hit here, then it's 1. See, at that point it should close. It's smaller than 1. This won't be smaller than 1. Yeah, it won't be smaller than 1, so this would just close right away. I just don't get why we're getting the second close right away after the empty page. So maybe the empty page is throwing us off here. Can't tell what the empty page is doing. It gets erased, but then when A is pressed, it's a rest option. The rest button count is equal to 1. And then it goes to 2. So we're hitting it. It goes to 2. Then we're not here, but then we still reinitted. We still reinitted because it was equal to 1 at the time of the press. So it'd have to be greater than 1. Yeah. Because that's 1. It didn't print the right thing. It did close, but it just didn't give us the right. See, and then it's there. Fuck, it's so close. It's close, but we're also not resetting the button count. So why is it that? Do we just have to flush the... Do we have to... Press button count is greater than 1. Because it's not, even though we hit space, it's a rest option. Okay, so on the blank page, does it go to rest option 1 on the count here? It does. Okay. So if it's on 1, then we want to do this if it's... I'm just going to be coding in circles here. Okay, I mean, that's close. It just needs to close. It just needs to close right there. Okay, so instead of reinitting, it just needs to close. So it's like, if rest count is greater than or equal to 1, go ahead and reinit. So it's just going to say, well, if you're smaller than or equal to 1, go ahead and do the reinit. So only on the first one does it do it. But then why does it print another page before closing? Because that's just the only issue. It just keeps printing one other reinit. So it printed a you took a nap, right? Again, because it was, let's see. It says you took a nap, and then we press it when it's equal to 1. And then it does it. It does it because it was equal to 1, not smaller than, or like, yeah, equal to 1. Maybe we can just say, well, if it's equal to 1, you don't do the thing. This is so bad, dude. This isn't right at all. This is so stupid. I just don't get why the condition isn't working there. Yeah, because it's like, why do we not get that second page? It's pulling the empty page that we put in there. So it's almost like we just need this to be only if we're equal to 1, meaning we've pressed it once, then we need to reinit with the resulting string. So if our rest button count is equal to 1 exactly, go ahead and reinitialize with the result string. But then the next time it's pressed, if if rest button is greater than 1, we need a break. So if it's 1, we can do that, and we can say else. Let's just break. We can't break unless it's in a loop. So if it's rest button 1, we'll go reinit. If it is not, we'll increase our button count, and we just won't reinit. So why does it let us? Why does it let us advance to 2 pages of dialogue there? So we press it and it's 0, which reinits. But pressing it when it's 0 shouldn't reinit. Only pressing it when it's 1 should reinit. So like, what is going on there? Because we're pressing it, but it's equal to 0. Well, rest button count. Yeah, when rest button count was 0 and it was pressed. We do, like, maybe we increment it only after we check the button count, so that we don't prematurely print the reinit. Okay, that just closes out. Oh, shit. I don't know. Why 3 pages that time? Why 3 pages, bro? Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it. We don't need this A button count, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that fixes anything, but I don't think it breaks anything either. Why 3 pages of that shit? We should only reinit it if we are smaller than or equal to 1, so that it should only be the first time we press it, we're smaller than 1, so we reinit. But then we become equal to 1. Okay, so then we would do it at least twice. So let's just do smaller than. Only on the first time we press it do we then reinit. But then why is it a second page, bro? We're not getting that reset value, and we're not closing this. Why does that happen? Smaller than 1. So let's walk it through. When we hit space, we are going to hit space and it's 0, it reinits. We hit space and it's 1, it reinits. So when we hit space and it's 1, why would it reinit? Because our rest button count is actually equal to 1 by the time we hit it. So why are we re-initting this? Because we were actually equal to 1, not smaller than 1. So we shouldn't do any of this. The only thing I could think of is the magic page we put in there, that invisible page. But re-knitting kind of takes out the string, right? We clear out our result table, we clear out our lines, we clear out our pages. We give us empty pages, and then we cycle through the characters and only assign as many pages as characters we need on each line. So Yeah, it's just confusing to me that it would reinit when rest button count is equal to 1. It makes me really confused. Maybe we have a line of code somewhere that does it. Testing this. Nope. Yeah, I mean, it's just wrong. So, I mean, I don't know. Part of me wants to say, like, that when we do this, if current page is less than this, or, you know, or our self dot rest button count is equal to 1, and we press the thing, then let's end our page, because it should just close the page. If we've already printed the result, just close the page, just like that. But we still need to reset the page, which involves resetting our rest button count. At this point, we need to reset our rest button count outside of the reinit, but just reset it to 0, so that we can at least give us 2 pages of advancing. So that's kind of working. Oh fuck, we don't have our freaking, oh man, dude, our dialog box is gone. We just, well, it's that, what the what? So the reinit really is screwing us. I think we would need to reinit this to rest if our rest button count is 1. So before, well, I don't know, we can say this, we can say if it's smaller than 1, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we want to reinit with rest reset, just to test. Rest reset. We might need a second page in there, but I don't know. We're just looking for that value to become, you know, we just want to be able to interact with that dialog box again once we walk away, and we just don't have that ability. So we're going to meditate, you know, so it knows there's a thing there. It knows there's a dialog box there. It knows we clicked on it because it went to meditate. Right? So if by the time we go here, like, why isn't it printing up the dialog box that's there? My only guess is that we're reinitting. And that kind of just like, I don't know. We need to maybe flesh text. Oh, maybe this. We did change this line. I don't think this is it though. Okay. Yeah, see, our dialog box just isn't interactable once we close it. But we should, you know, if we close it, we do this thing where we say we become finished printing, we're no longer activated, we clear our button count, we do all that junk. But what's not happening is, you know, this is fine. Closing the dialog box is fine. It's just that when we go to interact with it again, it doesn't turn on. So once action is pressed, yeah, I mean, I want to just test something here. If we just do this reinit right here, I just want the dialog box back, and I just don't have it. So let's slowly print, I don't know, state machine for it. You know, we can say, okay, well, is it activated, first of all? And we can say, well, is it I don't know. Let's just see if it's activated. I don't know. Non-activated, activated. Oh, still activated. So that's the issue. Okay, so we just need to become what? Activated false if we... Well, we become activated here if our page... Yeah, so maybe something... I don't know. We might be skipping it there. Maybe our false page is kind of still not activated. So how are we closing the dialog but not becoming... Yeah, where is activated getting true? What the heck? We become activated here. Let's try turning this off. Let's not worry about becoming activated when we reinit. But reinit does reset that, so we might need to... Oh! Okay. That does allow us to come back into it. It doesn't give us the right reinit value, so let's try that. Once we close it, let's try to reinit right here. If our rest button count is 1, we're going to just reset it back to a testing string. Let's see if we get that back. Okay, so rest, yes. See, that's wrong. That's wrong. We got the testing this, but we don't have the reset. Oh, yeah, this should be reset. Okay, so let's try to do this. Maybe over here... When we get to this where we say if it's a rest option, see, we would never hit this because we're flushing the rest button count if we're equal to 1. So let's maybe just get rid of that because it's not like this is doing anything at the moment. Rest button count equal to 1. We're not going to do that. We're just going to close the page. Well, actually that was doing stuff. That was closing our page for us. Yeah, that was closing our page for us, but we also just need to reset rest button count to 0 here. Uh-oh. What the f... Or... Okay. Okay, so testing this came out. We're not getting our freaking... Not getting our activation back. Our activation is still effed. Oh, actually, oh, our activation is correct. We're detecting a collision, but we're going back into meditate mode. Like we just did this. This isn't the wrong part, though. Okay, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, we go into a meditate, which is right here, on a rest option, instead of kind of breaking out of here. The dialog box does not open, but that isn't on the final of the closing page. That makes us meditate. But if we're meditating again from a rest option, which this dialog box is, that would mean that we're registering the action, and we'd either be on the last page or our rest button count would be equal to 1. And our rest button count is not equal to 1, we just reset it. So that just means we need to re-init our page to be not on the last page, right? So at this point we would run the re-init, and we can say testing reset and try it this way. Okay, rest, testing yes. Okay, we close it. Cool. See, we just don't have a reset init. Like we have a You know what? We do a couple of things when we re-init that we need to do. We do this thing called flush text, which we also need to do. So we flush the text for the re-init, and maybe we get it. Maybe we get the testing reset. Testing yes, cool. Thought that was it. Ay. Okay. Well, maybe we just are not resetting our... See, something might be happening here. Okay, I think what I want to do is not put this here. I think I want to put, if we're on the end of page, I think I want to put the conditional here for rest button count. So if it's 1 at this point in time, then we want to do the stuff, which is flush re-init. We can get rid of this because this is for every page no matter what action press, and we don't care about that for the reset button count. I want to say we only want to do it if it's on the last page. So the only way this would be messing up is if the re-init just is not... Uh-oh. Okay, that's testing yes. Testing yes. Just always yes. Even though we are doing a testing reset here. We should be re-initting to a testing reset here. And this is only if our... Yeah, if we hit space and we're on the last page of dialogue, or if our rest button counts 1. I don't know. It's... Shit, dude. Oh no. It's just jacked up. Alright, well, we are not getting it tonight. We're close. We're close. We just can't re-init the thing. You know, we don't get it to close on the right. We don't get it to close on the right page. We don't get it to re-init. We got a little closer, but it's just such a weird problem. It's just such a weird problem. It's really hard because we hand rolled the dialogue system to print one character at a time, and then we're trying to modify it. Though the same dialogue class, we're trying to make it work for a meditation rest, for a cinematic dialogue advancement scene, as well as modify it, we have our refinery state upgrade dialogue stuff that we're also using this dialogue class for, as well as the resting. So it's like we're trying to get 4 pieces of custom output from one class, and I think that's just muddying it up You know, we could split it out into this is a rest dialogue class for the scene, but there's very few inns in the game, and I don't feel like adding a whole new global table just for an inn dialogue system, because like there's gonna be so few in the game. So it's like I want to be able to cram it in this class, but it's just proven to be tough. So we'll give it another shot tomorrow. If I can't figure out by tomorrow, we're gonna have to figure something else out. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we've got to figure it out soon, because we got to keep chugging along, and this isn't that big of a deal. I mean, like, it's like I just need to hit the freaking thing and heal. I just need to hit yes, go to sleep, heal. It's not that hard. I'm just making it hard. The way I made it is hard, because it's just weird. Yeah, let's run credits. We'll call it a night here. I don't know if I'll commit without a working thing. I don't know. Probably not. But we'll run credits. We'll call it a night. Thanks for hanging, y'all. Thanks, Quinch. Thanks. Yeah, we'll work on it. It's close. It's close. It's just wrong. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I really want to get it done soon, because I did not factor this into my rest of my month planning, so I just want to get this done, and then we can move on. Yo, let's see who is streaming right now. We'll hit up Jed. He's so nice. Like, he's going to ask me about the game and stuff, but I'm so tired I got to get to bed, so I'll probably just say sorry, I got to raid and run, but thanks for hanging, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow.